morning and welcome back to Reaper Pro Tips, where we sit here, me, your host, Quindy. I'm going to say that Quindy's really the mad scientist in this lab. I'll give John maybe the crazed assistant role, and Justin's probably the monster in the closet. But anyway, hi everybody, it's Friday edition, Reaper Pro Tips. And you just inspired me to do that one, Kerniko, with your MRI tales. Yeah, and of course you have a brain. Come on now. You're a mini painter. Duh. If you're smart enough to be in this hobby, you've got a brain. We've confirmed it. Yeah, you need coffee. Yay, you're helping. Yeah, you are not the first person there, Quistodoma. There's a lot of chat. Much chat before you occurred. Or at least before you talked. Dr. Quindystein, yes. Yep. And I'm just the experiment, so. This is a good analogy. Do you like this one, Quindy? Is this one as good as the haunted house one? I think it is. I kind of like this particular analogy. I'm fond of it. Franken-Quindy, thank you. Franken-Quindy. All right. So, yay. It's time to work on a wizard. So, I had some thoughts. And we're not going to do the thoughts immediately because this particular thought involves basing, and I usually wait a little bit more before I worry about basing. But I had mentioned in a previous stream that I liked the idea of him trying to make his carpet fly. So obviously we need to base him. We need to rebase him on a carpet. So we've done a rug before, so we can do a bigger rug. And I thought it would be fun to have him standing on the rug, trying to command it to fly. And maybe the back part of the rug is starting to like ripple. And maybe I'll give him a little familiar on his rug. Because I have a couple of familiars. I had to dig out familiars the other day because David was like, I've lost my fox and I need it. And so, I had to spend a half an hour digging through my collection to find a bunch of fox familiars for David. So yes. So I think that it's a good story idea because it allows us to do a story, but in very small area, right? For fox's sake. Exactly, Kerniko. Exactly. But yeah, so I had to take my own time to dig through my collection, but I did find it. You know what? If there's a mini painter that channels the spirit of Ed used to wander around Reaper and he would just put stuff down. And you would find it in your department and you would be like, who left this here? And then you would think about it for half a second and go, oh, it must be Ed because that's an Ed's MO. David does that around the house. Which is good because that means I had 17 years of Reaper training to deal with this. But seriously, that's like, if there is one Ed Pugh trope, that's it. As far as company owner Ed Pugh. So seriously. But David does that. So if he had his fox somewhere and either knocked it off of his desk and managed to push it somewhere where he could not find it, or, he put it down somewhere and I didn't see it. It could have been either, really. So the fact, at least it was that he had the good taste to be using the fox that I happen to like a lot, so I had multiple copies of it. If it had been my last fox, he would have been out of luck. Yes, so. Kerniko! Oh, wow! Gather the kitties! Triple sub-anniversary! Happy triple sub-anniversary to Kerniko. One of our favorite peoples! Not that the rest of you aren't our favorite peoples, too. You all are, but still. Kuro, the favorite people of the kitties. How about that? We'll just start giving you the of the. Every time somebody gets a triple sub-anniversary, you'll become our favorite peoples of the whatever, depending on the kind of person you are. You can choose your own, sobriquet if you really want. But Kerniko's sobriquet title, if you will, is of the kitties for sure. Oh, you have that trait. Yep. Yeah, right? Oh, Quindy, I so feel you there. Oh, because my phone is always on silence. Because I carry it around with me, but I really can't afford all the freaking interruptions all day, right? All the spam calls, all the random texts from random people wanting me to do crap that has nothing to do with my work. Right. So, always silenced. And then I lose it. Yeah, lose. Use that very, very, very loosely, right? Oh my god. Pardon me. It's allergy day again. Ugh. It's allergic. It's an allergic day. I'm allergic to this. I'm not allergic. I'm never as allergic to California as I am to Wisconsin. So, you know, could be worse. But yes. All right. Premium gullible cat mug. You're funny. You may make up whatever title you wish. It's all good. So yeah, so eventually I think that's what we'll do with this guy, because I was already going to put like a carpet painted on here, and then maybe fly or rise, you know, a rise carpet, whatever I can fit in, whatever I feel up to on the day we do it. So yes, I figured we would do it that way. I really want to get the gold in here. I really feel like I might want an accent color, and I haven't chosen it yet. But the gold will be somewhat of an accent color. And so I think I want to get that blocked in and then maybe work on highlighting that orange, because I feel like we haven't brought it up as much as we can, and I want to do it. I was afraid you put it in the freezer or the microwave. Or somewhere where you're going to spill water on it, right? That's me. That's me. Oh my gosh. I swear when I do dishes, there's as much water that gets on the counter as that gets in the sink. I swear. I don't know how I managed to like mutate into this sort of person, but it's definitely a thing. All right, let me see here. I am trying to set up my ridiculous area to actually be less ridiculous, and there's way too much crap on my area. Like this has triggered my "it's time to clean the desk" trigger moment. No, I freehand lava being all the time. All the time. I enjoy freehand. Like, my fiance tells me I'm a mutant and a nut, but I really enjoy it. Because I have a background in fine arts, so I'm like, my brush control is good enough for it. I totally think it's fair if you do not have the brush control, like if you've just got fine motor issues or you just don't have it, to use decals if you want to. I personally do feel decals look better if you paint over them a bit, but you know, teach your own. But I do freehand. So in the past we have done a wizard. Let's see. Do we have a couple? Yeah, we have a couple of books. Hold on. I really enjoy doing books. So we have Mr. Crimson Herald with his evil book with the pentagram on it. And then we have the actual wizard casting a spell, who is casting Expel Cat, and we will touch base with this guy again in a future video around the holidays when I paint the cat in the Christmas tree that goes with him. So, but yeah, so there you go. So I tend to like to do freehand. I like to be able to do a little extra design. It did take a practice to get good at tiny freehand, but books are actually fairly easy. Because as long as you've got, the biggest thing is just getting control of your paint. And I'm about to do a video on that for my YouTube. That's actually this coming month's fundamentals video is actually going to be control your paint. Because everybody tells you to thin your paint, but then they don't tell you that it gets harder to control as you do that or how to deal with it. So that is what my new YouTube is on. I do have a YouTube channel that is currently, I'm doing a series of fundamentals on mini painting. I do one to two videos every month, depending on what I have time for. This month is going to be one because that's all I got. Honestly, just doing it, lava being like, I use like little, if I want to practice something that's complex, I will use little artist trading cards. This one is like Bristol, but there are watercolor ones too. And I will just pretty much like put my book kind of up against it and make a little box that's about the same size. And I'll just practice doing the little script. It's really just wobbly little lines like right above each other. And then if you want to do a bigger symbol, you know, then you can practice that as well. But with all freehand, if you don't have like the fine control for it, that is one way. Now, if you're really just starting out and you are, you know, you're still like having a real trouble hitting fine details on models, what I recommend is lining. Lining your models is going to increase your brush control because you're drawing a succession of thin lines between areas. Like I've lined around the outside of this little loincloth, and then I've lined between the orange and the border, and I've lined around all of this. You can see all these little thin dark lines. Doing lining is going to increase your brush control because you are being asked to do a thin line that's dark, just like with text, and to control it, right? So the more lining you do, the better you will get at brush control, and also in learning the paint consistency of the water of the paint that you need to get that thin dark line. So then when you go to do your little squiggles on your book, it's just doing a squiggly line instead of a straight line. But yeah, so that is honestly, those are the two things. Like if you're kind of starting out, do lining, do a lot of lining. Get a model that requires a lot of lining. If you have a dragon with like overlapping scales that require a lot of lining, you could do that. You know, if you just want to do like a wizard like this to start out, you can see where I've gotten my dark lines, where I've even put them in on some of the areas I haven't painted yet. But seriously, lining, even if you decide not to keep lining in your repertoire, if you decide to go more for a more naturalistic shading technique eventually, it's worth learning it because it does increase your brush control so much faster, learning to line. So Quindy, that was probably like a miniature goblin, I figure. You know, you tend to attract them. Are you sure it was a frog? I mean, small, green, irritating? Could be either, really. All right. So that said, let's do some gold and some orange. We use our typical culprit as a base coat for our gold. I've used, you can use Uniform Brown, 9127. You can use Shield Brown, 9161. Both of those are fine. Yeah, it could have been a demon of some sort. Often I use Rich Leather, but any of these things will work. I wouldn't go much darker. I wouldn't go with a really, really dark brown. I find that it's just too hard to bring the yellow colors up over it. But Rich Leather is a kind of a nice compromise. It's a very yellowish brown to begin with, and it's not too dark. It's kind of middle of the road. So with gold NMM, I like to start at that middle of the road point. So we'll block that in, and then maybe I'll put some shading on it, and then we'll go and do some orange. And then maybe we'll go back to our gold if we get there. But right now I'm like, he's very duochromatic. I feel like this is going to, when I get the rug down, it's going to help because I can do a few more accent colors with the rug. I also need to figure out what the accent on his gemstones is going to be. So I'll be able to add in accents of other colors. I just haven't figured out what I want to do yet. I'm kind of thinking maybe blue because it'll go with the orange. But yeah, still thinking. You're hoping a bird ate it. You guys are funny. So I'm going to do just a 4-to-1 paint to water to start out with. So I've got 1 drop of water in there. I just need to mix it up. Because this is a base coat on small areas, it's like you want kind of a compromise between coverage and being able to get those the paint to come off your brush well and in thin lines for those borders. So 4-to-1 is a pretty good level. If you go thicker, it can be hard to get your paint off the brush for those really thin lines. At least, you know, more than like 1 brush stroke because it'll just get globby. But thinning too much means you'll have to go over the area more than a few times to get a nice coverage. So we don't want that. And now I need glasses. Whew. Alrighty, and we've also got like some colors, like whatever our accent color turns out to be, we'll probably use it here on the dagger as well. We've got a lot of gold, and the dagger handle, like you've got the scabbard and the handle. Like scabbard we might go orange with, because we don't have any orange. Like on the side you can see it's all like purple. So that's a clue to you if you're doing like an orange and purple scheme. Whatever two colors you're using, if you look at one side, if you know you've got an area that you need to choose a color for, and you look at the model and you really are just seeing purple, or one of your colors, then choose your other color for the scabbard there. Hey, Zox. Happy Friday. Yes, Friday edition is always best. Yeah, at this point, Quindy, I'm thinking you could probably become the like center of the intergalactic alien exchange. You know, have all these aliens in disguise, kind of stomping up to your door and being let in. You know, so they can use your extra dimensional portal to get back to their homeworlds. And your neighbors probably wouldn't think it was any different. I just get that feeling. Like Quindy's apartment is actually 4 times bigger or 50 times bigger than it looks on the from the outside, you know. Hey, Arrowiz, sup? Thank you for becoming one of my patrons. I saw your name and I was like, ooh, all excited. So yeah, let's get some more of this mini covered up. And I think by putting the gold in, I'm also gonna stop like it's gonna stop bothering me that I've really only got 2 colors on the mini, because I definitely can get to that point where I'm just like, arg, this is boring. Need to be able to store all the minis. Excellent rejoinder. I know. So hey, I'm gonna plug this briefly, not tremendously, but I did it on my Discord, and I really like this company, so I'm going to support them a little bit. It's not Reaper, but Journeyman Miniatures, who puts out mostly like larger models, but they do they're the ones who put out my Wolfie, the Wolfie that I converted, the Rackham Confrontation, you know, statue guy, like the big guy. So they're doing a painting competition. It's online, and you can find information if you search for Journeyman Miniatures painting competition on Facebook. They put a Facebook group up for it. It's pretty cool because although in the open category, although one figure needs to be Journeyman, if you are doing a diorama, you can use other figures from other companies to flesh out your story. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, so I wanted to plug that because when David and I were at Adepticon, we begged them to do a miniatures painting competition, and we were hoping they would do one at Adepticon, an in-person one, but they seem to have decided they would love to do one online. And it sounds like it might be a decent online competition because they are judging it. It's open system, so it's a medal system, which allows lots of people to get rewarded for the work they do. And they're collecting what sounds like a pretty substantial prize pool. Like, it feels to me like they really are doing it right. So even though it is online, so photography will matter, it's still pretty cool, and I want you guys to know about it. You can also just you can find out how to find it if you forget what I just said. You can go to Journeyman Miniatures on Instagram, and they're talking about it. So a lot of us are very excited, and I will probably use this as an impetus to paint one of my Journeyman models, to finish one of them. Although I don't know if it's going to be Wolfie, because Wolfie I converted so heavily. And I know that they're super fans of the original sculpt. So, like, I figure if I enter something that I've totally resculpted, they're going to be like, you know, like, I get a bronze, I get a certificate. Maybe not, but probably not, but it's still, you know. It makes me go, maybe I paint a different model. I have several from them now, so I have lots of good choices. But now I have an actual reason. And the deadline's in November, so there's plenty of time, which is awesome. But yeah, so if anybody wants to, enter and see like where you rank, because it is open system, so, bronze, silver, gold. And they kind of have an idea. They want to reward creativity as well as just technical merit, so, It sounds like they're doing it right, and they're really nice guys. I think they're in Scotland, actually. Aren't they, Cornico? Do you know? Yeah, their Minotaur is really, it's based on the Rackham confrontation art, right? It's really cool. So all their stuff is really big. They're not really a competitor for Reaper, but if you want to tackle a big model, they do some really beautiful ones. So yeah, so there you go. There's my plug. Journeyman Miniatures has a painting competition, Kodiak. They've just announced it. It's virtual, so it's an online comp, but they are judging it seriously. It's open system, and you can find out more on Journeyman Miniatures painting competition on Facebook, where they have their rules and everything. But yeah, totally cool, and they're really nice guys. We just got a box of minis from them the other day, and we're all excited. So, essentially, once you're done with your ReaperCon entry, you still have at least 2.5 months to paint a Journeyman entry, right? But don't like throw out your ReaperCon entry just to paint for this competition. That's not why I'm telling you. Because even though I'm not there, the spirit of me will be hovering over you all, watching to see if you enter minis in the Master Series Open. Oh, they ship from France. Easy. I wonder if they were, because the guys themselves, I think, are Scottish, Cornico. But maybe their casting house, their resin casting house might be, and their packaging house might be in France. They are not French themselves. But it does make sense that they have links to France because Rackham was from France, right? And they are working with, like, the person who owns the art assets from Confrontation in order to get permission to do these resculpts. So, and I know they really like French art because they really enjoy the old Confrontation artwork. So they love that style. So that does make sense that maybe they're actually a Scottish-French love child. I don't know. But for some reason, when I heard one of the guys at the con, they both sounded like UK. One definitely sounded very Scottish. But I'm not an expert in accent identification. Well, if they're just paying the French company to do their casting and their shipping and packaging, then they won't, right, Lava Bean? Because they won't be actually, like, sending anything other than digital files from the UK. If all the production is done in France, then, then the people who order, maybe the people who order from inside of England or Britain will have to deal with some pain, but, the rest of Europe should be fine. We have our European shipping hub is in the UK, is in Britain, is in England. So, Reaper had to do some, refiguring as far as how to deal with it. Alrighty, so yeah, that's starting to look a lot better now that I'm getting some of that gray off. I was just really, I think that gray bones material look was just annoying. Alrighty, So we've got, and then the remaining like gray is pretty much like leather. He's got leather straps across his chest there that are holding his, he's got maybe shoulder straps holding up these scrolls and the heavy bag there. So this is a good time to like kind of figure out what stuff is on the mini. They just announced it yesterday, Pendrake, so I suspect it will go up there when they have time to update the website. But they announced it on their Insta and then linked to the Facebook group. So I think mostly they're going to be running it through the Facebook group. But yeah, they'll probably put something up on the website. But they just haven't gotten to it yet. I like forgive a company if they like don't have it up immediately on their website. Now, if it's a month from now and they still don't have it up on their website, then I'm like, around? Yeah, is it Cornico? Yeah. That is a shame. So he's looking a lot nicer now that he's gotten more of his gray covered up, right? I think he's looking much nicer. The rich leather for the gold is actually a really nice accent color. Hey, Steph and Mac, how's it going? So Bridget put up more puppy videos of the puppies like encountering the clicker for the first time, and she put up the two girls who are probably in the running. Much as Purple Girl, Lavender Girl is really cute, she does look very poodly, and so she's probably not gonna look too much. She may not look as much like a Shiloh, and that means that probably my real choice is between Pink Girl and Yellow Girl. We'll see. I'll still be looking at Purple Girl at the litter evaluation because she's still in, hypothetically she's still in the running. But we've got like a gold like button holding these little scroll bits together. So I want to get that while I see it. Hello, Chaos Queen. Super, yeah. ReaperCon entries, yes, that's what I want to hear. I will not be at ReaperCon, but I will be there in spirit, hovering over you all, demanding that you enter the Master Series Open. Y'all have fun without me. I will post, I'll post puppy pictures. Since the puppy will still be a brand new world, like at that point, she'll only have been home for a week. So anybody who is actually my friend on Facebook, like, expect to be actually inundated. Like, for some reason, I don't use Facebook for my miniatures work. I tend to use Insta for that. But dog pictures all over Facebook. Like, seriously, once I have a puppy again, be ready for multiple posts about cute dogs. Like, it's on Facebook, what I'm saying. Obviously, Gibson. Although, actually, the people who are really in support of me are going to ReaperCon and they're entering the competition. Because that is my greatest, like, pride. One of my greatest. My second greatest pride after creating the paint line is in helping to grow ReaperCon and ReaperCon's competition. So, y'all know that I'm, like, terribly proud of it. And I almost tear up every year when I talk about how the competition has grown and how proud of y'all I am for getting better and better through the years. Hey, that's really nice. If it's rainy days are the best days to stay inside and craft and do reading and stuff. I miss rainy days. Like, that's the only thing about this climate is it's so dry. I get very rare rainy days. Maybe that makes me value them more. But I kind of miss rain. Especially because we're like in a drought. So like we have even less rain than we would normally have. Oh yeah, 95% humidity and 105 degrees. Ugly. Ugly moonlight. I'm with you on that. Oh, it's like, what? Do you live in Houston? Do you? Like, actually, I don't know where you live. But it sounds like Houston. I never understood, like, how people could live in climates like that. Just outside Houston. I was right. It's like, man, I get that Houston is a pretty cool city, but the climate. It's like when I first heard about it, when I first moved to Texas, I remember people telling me about Houston. And I was already like, this was me just in Texas, right? And Dallas was already at 104 or whatever. Because that first summer I moved there, I remember we had like 20 something days all over 100 all in a row. Like local fast food restaurants were going, we're gonna have a sale, and if we have a X number of 100-degree days, we're gonna give you 20% off or whatever. It's horrible. Yeah. I feel it. I feel it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but I missed out on a lot of rain because Denton does have a bunch of rain in like winter and spring. We still got nice rainy days. There were just days where it was just a rainy day and I would just go out on the back porch and sit and listen to it. And Texas has the advantage of having warm rain sometimes, which I really love. I love it when it's warm out and we get that nice fine rain. I did get a tiny bit of sprinkle back in like May, I think. There was actually a day where it misted, where it was a really light rain and it was warm. That was great. But it's very rare here. So if you want the absolute like antithesis of Houston, I guess that would be like Colorado, right? Dry, very dry, and cold, but beautiful summers. All right, so I'm gonna get this. I didn't even line back here yet, but I'm gonna put in my gold anyway. So lining will also help you with this sort of brush control where I'm just pretty much putting thin lines of color around various places. The neater you can keep your base coats, the more work it saves you in the long run. So once again, like working on your lining, working on your control will save you time in the long run because you won't have to do as many touch-ups. Oh yeah, really in Colorado. So climate shift. Although 90 degrees with very low humidity is very doable. Like I actually like 90. As long as the humidity is lower, I really like 90 degrees. Like when it starts hitting 95, 98, then I'm like, okay, now it's warm, and when it hits 100, I'm like, okay, it's hot. I can survive in it, but I don't enjoy it, but I do really love my 90 degrees. Like 87 to 90 degrees in a arid climate is actually my happy place. We were outside on a porch last night eating at our outside table, and it was like 69 degrees, and David is like, it is not cold. I'm putting on a flannel. Yeah, elevation does throw the feel. Yeah. Alrighty. So, and I didn't line, so I'm going to put a dark shadow there, so I'm not going to paint it gold. I do need to get this sleeve up here, and then we need to kind of just look around, make sure we've got everything. Oh, we need to get the dagger. You can tolerate upper cities. Once you hit 80s, I'm out. Yeah. Well, I did live in Texas for 17 years. Kodiak. And I already preferred heat to cold. Like, I've never been a polar bear. Like, I hated Wisconsin. I hated the state I grew up in. I hated the weather. Also, I was allergic to most of it. But the minute I moved south or to warmer climates, I was like the happiest Ann in existence. So I'm really one of those people that prefers the heat. Like, you drop the temperature and I'm whining. Whining and loading on the layers. Like, every year we go to Adepticon in Chicagoland in like early spring where it's still sleeting. I'm just like, why do we come here? Yeah, when you've got the humidity with the heat, I'll agree with you there. Then it can get downright, like, exhausting. And it has seemed to get more humid in Texas, like, over the years that I lived there. It did seem like when I first moved there that we got drier heat, but then by the time I moved, I think we were seeing some more humidity. Now it's hard to get control on the inside of the sleeve here, and the sleeve comes over. So I am putting a pretty heavy layer of gold in there, and I'll adjust it with lining and shading because it's easier for me to kind of put a blob, a really thick line of gold in there, and then just use the walnut to kind of trim it back. So I'm just going to kind of hit it with everything, and then I'll go back and refine it. If you have an area that you need to fill that's really hard to reach with your brush, that is one tactic you can use. So Chicago is a special kind of cold. I mean, I grew up north of Chicago, so yeah, there's a reason I don't live in the Midwest. It's because I'm a total wuss about cold. Total wuss. That's me. David just laughs at me. All right, so we got that. Now the hat. The hat has super thin bands of gold. Like, I'm kind of like psyched that I'm learning to knit things now, because like now I can make all sorts of things for cold weather that will keep me warm. Okay. I also did not... It seems like I didn't really... I lined around some of this, but... I'm just going to thin my paint a little bit more because it's been a little while, so it's gotten a little thicker. When you thin 4:1, your paint is going to evaporate faster. Keep in mind that this is a thing. The more water you put in your paint in a well palette like this, the longer it's going to stay at a decent consistency. But when you're only putting 1 drop of water in, your evaporation is going to happen faster because you haven't put as much water in. So it is going to thicken up faster, and you are going to have to remember to add a drop of water sooner than you will with paints that are much thinner. I don't think the puppy's going to need a sweater. She's going to have a thick coat. Shilohs have Malamute behind them, and they tend to love cold weather. Like, one of Kiri's sons, Jax, they called him the Yeti. His owners called him the Yeti because when the temperature got like 40 degrees and below, he would go out in the yard and just lie on the ground and refuse to come in because his coat was so thick that he just loved the cold weather so much. In warm temperatures, Shilohs tend to become air conditioning duct seeking missiles. But I am thinking about getting like a collar and doing kind of a knitted cover for it to make it into a fancy collar. I figure that's got to be a thing, right? Individualizing your collars. Although I'm surprised, like when I go looking for stuff, knitted stuff for like dogs, there isn't a lot out there. Like I expected more. I mean, there's a lot of sweaters, sure. I even found a dog snood the other day. Yeah, but a yarn bound collar, yeah. Do something with a pattern, right? Use it as a practice for pattern stuff. Or do it with a color shifting cloth or color shifting yarn that makes it pretty. I won't know what colors to get until we get our puppy though, because I need to know what colors are gonna look good with her. I won't know until I know what color the one we get is. But yeah, I figured that would be a good way. Just get like a cheap nylon collar, but then do a yarn, get a thinner yarn and do a design knitted cover for it. I didn't really see any of that online. Maybe I should look it up. Try to look with more specific search words. Like you'd think there would be more innovation. People love their pets and they love knitting, so. A lot of people seem to do yeah, but black is... I mean, but what if I get the solid black puppy, Kodiak? Then it's not going to look good. Because remember, we've got a bunch of different choices here in this litter. There are 3 different girls, and they all have 3 different colors. There's a solid black one, and a kind of a golden sable one, and then a brown, like a tan, black and tan one. But she might end up to not be quite as brown and have more grayish kind of shades. So the puppy and the pile of yarn, absolutely, Big Eiler, absolutely. I mean, if we get the black puppy, then obviously, you know, the sky's the limit. You can put anything with black. But that's the puppy I'm probably not getting, just based right now. Oh, that's funny. So I should look up knit bombing dog collar. Is that what I should Google? Hold on. I've got a dog sticky note here. Knit bombing. Because at this point I really would like I like patterns better because I need practice following patterns, and I also I'm not good enough yet to make up my own shit. So knit bombing dog collars. I will look that up. Thank you, Kerniko. Because yeah, I totally want to do that. Plus, it's kind of a cool thing because if I do that and I learn to do it and it looks good, I can use it. Our dog club, when we do our national, we have an auction, a silent auction, and we get to we essentially do it to help raise money to cover the cost of the show, right? Because we're renting a big venue and that costs a lot of money usually, and show entries don't always cover it. So this would be awesome if I learned to do it. It would be a great auction item. People love handmade stuff, and doing some fancy like knit bomb dog collars, because most Shilohs were around the same size, so you could do like a couple in different colors. That would be pretty awesome. So totally interested in that idea, and it would be fun to do that for my national. Because then I could stop just buying baskets of dog treats to put in and like actually put something cool and personalized in there. We sadly don't have a mailbox. We only have a mail slot, so I would not be able to participate in that particular challenge. Although I am at the halfway point with Ugly Scarf. So those who didn't tune in the other day, I actually finished knitting a ball, and I put a squeaky inside of it. So I have a knitted ball for the puppy to play with that has a squeaky in it. It was my first thing to finish with crocheting. And then my first knitting project was Ugly Scarf, which I shelved Ugly Scarf briefly to work on the ball. But now it's on with Ugly Scarf. And I hit the halfway point last night. I counted up how many panels I wanted to do and then multiplied. I am actually aligning with Rogue Shadow today. It's a fast palette color. Rogue Shadow is kind of like a more reddish brown liner. Brown liner is a little more yellowy. Rogue Shadow is a little more reddish. Rogue Shadow also has slightly better coverage than brown liner. So if you don't want it to be as translucent, you could use Rogue Shadow. I could have used walnut. But I tend to do one of those three colors here. If I'm in a line, unless I'm trying to do something funky with color, then I'll grab blue liner. But these are the three kind of go-tos. And you can kind of see how this is more yellowy and this is more reddish. And then walnut's darker. And walnut has a lot more body to it. Like it's a high solids black pigment. So it's high density. It has a lot of coverage. Yeah, just refresh, Gibson. Sometimes it'll just, like, do that. Yeah, I could do that, Chaos Queen. Once my puppy collar is nip bombed, I could do something. I don't know what. I tend to like shawls. Like, I've never really worn them because, well, I've just never had cause to wear them. But I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I like those really, there's some really pretty knitted shawls and stuff. And I'm into that. Like if I get into any clothing item with knitting, I think that might be it. Although I do love socks, but socks are painfully hard apparently. Yeah, it's good for reds and it's like reds and reddish oranges. You can sneak some interesting colors into the shadow. It's always good. It's also good for olive greens, Agent Marvel, and greens in general. Yeah, I've got a long thin scarf. That's Ugly Scarf. Ugly Scarf is my first project with knitting, Chaos Queen, and it is definitely ugly, and there are so many mistakes, but I am proud of it anyway, and I've kept the mistakes. I fixed a couple, but I kept most of the little mistakes because I'm like, it just gives Ugly Scarf personality. But yeah, Ugly Scarf needs 8 more panels. And then I need to see how much wool I have left because I actually need it for my next project, which is kind of a joke project. I don't wear hats in general, so yeah, beanies are cool, but they're like not my thing. Illuminati. There you go, Cursed. There you go. Yes, it's the Illuminati. That, I knew somebody would come up with a secret society name for knitters eventually. Very good. Very good. Top marks, man. All right, so now let's fill in some of the lining that we failed at. We also still need to do the gold on the top here. That's the comment stream over. You're funny. Yeah, I want to do more puppy toys too. I want to do if you guys know about like the Skinnies dog toys, they're really just like empty stuffed animals with a little head with squeakers in them. And they're great because they fit in your pocket. Like you can throw them through, kind of tuck them through a belt loop or into a pocket and keep them around for when your puppy is teething or when you're trying to train your puppy to redirect onto something like a suitable toy. Because they're floppy and they're fun. They can attract the puppy's attention if they have a chase impulse. And so, yeah. So essentially, I was looking at them in the pet supply store the other day, and they're so expensive for what you get. And I was like, you know what? I bet I could knit a Skinny. I could totally do that. So that's my next project. There are a couple new projects that I have after Ugly Scarf. But I want Ugly Scarf to be done. Because I do have really fancy yarn. Oh, I should show you guys. Those of you who crochet and knit, there seems to be a lot of you in this stream. I should show you my pretty yarn. Once Ugly Scarf is done, then I'm going to try to do a ribbed scarf where I can learn to purl and knit, because Ugly Scarf is just a straight up knit. Just so I can really get it into my muscle memory and really like have that basic knit stitch in my muscle memory. But after Ugly Scarf, I am going to do a fancy scarf, and I'm going to show you my yarn. Hold on. So 1 second. Hold on that wizard. So it is these two colors. So it's a kind of a grayed out lavender and then a dark purple. And the dark purple one is actually that. So it's these guys together. Yeah. So aren't these beautiful colors? So I'm going to do a striped scarf that's got a rib design and alternate these two yarns. Yeah, isn't this is a totally sexy color yarn? Yeah, like, oh my god, it's so beautiful. Like, I cannot wait. So yeah, so these guys, that's what I'm doing. So that'll be my super pretty that I have to like pay attention when I'm knitting it so I don't screw up. And I'll have to learn to fix my mistakes on that one. Chaos Queen, I don't even know. I went to my local yarn store and I told them that I wanted to do a scarf, and they're like, well, we've got some of these wool blends that are machine washable. And unfortunately, when they wound them, because they had to wind them into balls for me because they came in skeins, they kept the labels. So I don't remember, but I do remember where they are in the store, so I can go back and find out. For that matter, I could probably just take a strand of it back and the ladies would be like, oh yeah, that's a blah. So I'm sad and I don't remember, but I was thinking about going back to the yarn store soon because I'm gonna have finished 2 projects. So maybe I deserve a new thing of yarn. Yeah, it is a wool blend. It's machine washable and it's like soft. I believe is all the things. Like I like all those things. So I do remember that they had all their washable yarns in that segment. Like machine washable. I assume you still lay it out to dry, but I have drying things. Hey Varl, 34 months, dang. Nice. Yeah, the ladies that work in this yarn store are pretty cool. There's a young one and an older one. And the older one knits her own socks, so she's my idol. Yeah, I'm only barely learning to read yarn labels. For those who do not like knit or crochet, I think that the hieroglyphics on yarn labels are the most complicated thing that I have yet seen in a crafting world. It is. It's like hieroglyphics. Like, good luck. If you're new like me, good luck, guys. There's one yarn I have. I've only got like 6 or 7 skeins of yarn right now because I'm not doing very much. I'm trying to figure out if I like the hobby enough to stick in it. But one of the ones I have has like 60 zillion labels on this yarn, I swear. Like, it is really like hieroglyphics. Like, they should just put a cartouche around it and be done. All right, so we've got our gold. We've touched it up. We've done our lining. We need to do gold on the dagger and gold on the top of the hat. So let's do that. Now, when you're doing these little fine sections, you're going to notice that I'm just trying to get the color on there solid. I'm not, like, it's a tiny little space, and it doesn't need to be, like, super perfect, the coat you put down on it. Like, I even am blorfed there, and I need to touch it up. But just try to get the color down there. Oh, and I need to also get this gemstone because it's got a gold rim around it. And there's these little studs, which are probably also gold. Let's see, is this gonna help? No, that's gonna drive it darker. I need the big black base if I'm gonna make my colors show up. There we go, yay! Some of them Grand Oracle. Yeah, if they've got a lot of information on the bottle. I'm gonna just, with these little tiny nail studs, I'm honestly just gonna paint them all dark. Then I tend to go back with a white dot, and then I'll put gold over the top of them. So first put a liner around the outer edge of the gemstone. I did it on one side, but I didn't do it on the other. Illumi Kitty. Yeah, that's even cuter. That's the Secret Society of Cats. You know that exists too. Yeah, I'm getting into the amigurumi. That's what I'm gonna use kind of like changed patterns of those to like make my Skinnies toys. Because I need to do the animal head on the top. But then I just need a scarf pretty much. Like a scarf, 2 scarves that are made like that have a pocket so that I can, or a scarf that just flips at the end to have a pocket for a squeaker. But yeah, I'm excited about my puppy toys. And I want to get used to redirecting the puppy to play with those floppy toys really fast so that, there we go. So you can see our dude. Our dude has a lot of facial hair, so he doesn't have much face. Well, he must be named Aaron. If you knitted it. I mean, I guess if you knitted your husband, he'd be fairly durable, but you shouldn't get him wet too often. Or if you do, you're going to have to like pin him down on a mat or he'll lose his shape. This could just be taken too many different directions. Too many. They both shrunk in the wash. Oh my god. Yeah, yeah. We're sorry, Twisted Oma. Yes, I'm horrified by all those directions too, Quindy. That's why I'm going to stop. Too many horrible directions. Oh, a neon cat rainbow scarf. With a gray kitty. Yeah. Yeah. Is there a pattern for that? Dang. I'm going to look up cat scarf. Because that's what I need, right? I need a pattern for putting an animal head at the end of a very tiny scarf. Yeah, I found that one on Amazon too. It looked pretty cute. I liked the designs in that book. I didn't buy it yet, Gibson, because I'm trying to like, budget better, but I need to make a couple of ergurumi from the book that I have, which is the one that Kuroniko recommended. And I'm actually making the pig from that one, but I'm turning it into a sheep. And it's totally an Overwatch joke, which I know a couple of you are into, but I don't know if you're into Overwatch League. But essentially, there's a copy pasta to spam the image of a sheep in chat for a reverse sweep if your team is behind. So I want a spammable sheep. So I'm making an ergurumi sheep that's really fat and round, so I can spam it when my team is behind, which is a lot because I'm a Houston fan. Definitely patterns for it online. Thanks, Kuroniko. Look online. Yeah, I just need to. It would be helpful to have just kind of a guide of the best way to join the animal head to the. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, my Overwatch League brethren. Awesome. Hey, Toronto's looking good. Like Toronto, maybe they downed out of the, they kind of boomed out of the tournament, but they looked really good against the Dragons. I was, but yeah, go Outlaws, Beguiler. Yes. We are Outlaws and Shock fans in this household because David was a Shock fan because San Francisco, and then I moved out here, but I'm still keeping Outlaws. You don't actually watch that much. That's okay. I watch a lot. I do other stuff while I watch. No love. You're fine. Oh, you found it at Joanne's. Yeah, it looked really cute and tempting, and that's why I have to not get it, Gibson. Like, I have to wait. Like, I definitely have a thing where, okay, you've bought enough, now you have to, like, wait and budget for your next fun. There we go. So we got a nice rim. There's our gold. Now we just need the dagger. Oh, and we haven't done a pup date. Toronto never looks good, keeping up Toronto traditions. Oh, my. You should not lurk. Oh, Twisted Omo, we're just teasing. You know we value your contributions. People only get teased if, like, we like you. Like, I always tell people, I will only tease you if I like you. If I do not like you, I will not ever tease you. Like, you'll know. Oh, I like the Titans, but they just let Shockwave go, and I'm just like, what are you doing, Titans? You were looking good. Yeah. Yeah, and I am self-employed, so I do not have all the monies to go and buy all the things I would like. So I'm actually starting a new financial system with my new paycheck. So tightening down a bit on the things that are not necessary. And I mean, I've got so many beautiful models to paint already. I've got so many paints. I've got yarn to work with that I really love. So I really can afford to step it down. Oh my god. Loch Ness Monster? Oh no. Yeah, okay, don't tell me any more, Gibson. I don't want to know. Yeah, I really love Vancouver as a city. I visited a long time ago, and I was just up there again recently, just briefly. And I think it is a beautiful city. There we go. So let's just get a nice base. Oh, yeah, I bet. Like, Kreniko, my friend, well, Jennifer Haley, who paints, Jen used to be super into sewing, and she showed me her fabric closet one time, and it was pretty much a fabric room. Like, I get it. See, that's a problem with sewing and knitting and that kind of thing, is like, yarn takes up more space than minis. Like, so I feel like I'm on a slippery slope here, and I have to control myself. Yeah, I'll pick up the Fantasy Aragorumi at some point book, but not right now. I want to complete my spammable sheep and my ugly scarf, and then start my really pretty scarf. And then I'll plan, and that should take me at least a couple months, given that I don't have all that much time to work on this stuff. Or maybe, yeah, it should be okay. That should be good. Maybe I'll try another one of the Aragorumi from the book that I have right now. They have a really cute octopus. And I think the turtles, though. The turtles are really adorbs. Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Oh, Denver won it twice, huh? Wow. Wants a mod check of Bones 5. Oh my god. Oh yeah, you're totally a hobbyist. You can be a hobbyist and have self-control. Come on. All right, so there's a design in the top of this. You can see it, right? This pattern on top of here. So what I'm going to do is I want to outline the details here. So I am going to do a wash, and I've got Rogue Liner lined up already. So why don't I grab my brush on sealer and mix a wash. And if I put a wash over the top of this, it should outline everything and kind of give me an idea what this shape looks like. So let me back out a bit. Oh, yeah. I'm glad you tuned in too. Oh, and I haven't even shown the pup date yet. Hold on. Let's get our wash applied, and then while our wash dries, we'll watch puppies. What do you guys think? Sound good? So I'm gonna take some of this is thinned a little bit already, so I'm just gonna drop 4 drops of brush on sealer into it. I want it to be fairly thick because going straight over bones, I want to make sure that it adheres. I also want it to be a little darker than I think I need because washes with paint always dry a little lighter. Oh my God, Quindy. Yeah, that just sounds like you're doing extra work. All right, so my wash ends up looking like this. You can see kind of it looks a bit dark, but that's all right because we're going to paint over this. We're going to just slobber it all over the top of this bag. I'm going to leave it, with washes, you can leave it thick. If I want, I can also hit the outside part. But you do want it to pool if you want it to settle into the detail spots. So do make sure that you've got a fair amount of puddling. Like I'm going to put a little extra wash down even. So what we can see here is we can see that there is actually a very finely sculpted buckle in here. And doing the wash has made that more evident. So now we can see the details on that buckle a lot better. Fresh off the sheep. Some of the yarn is still walking around. That's funny. So then we've got this, and we're going to let it dry. You can see how it looks wet. And we'll put this back, and then we'll get a pup date out. How about that? So let's find my pup dates. Let's see here. So do we want to see Keyleth, or do we want to see Keyleth the Sable or Pink Girl the Duel? Who do you want to see? I haven't watched Keyleth yet, so let's do Keyleth. So let's see. I want to expand and then...
Yes.
Oh, here we go.
Yes. Who do we have here? We've got Keith. Yes, we do. What is going on, huh, sweet stuff? Hi. What's happening, huh? What's happening? You have to go potty? Good night. You might have to go potty. I'm not sure. This is very strange, isn't it? Yeah. That's okay, though. We're excited anyways. Oh, yes. Oh, hand. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Oh, yeah.
She's got such a fuzzy little tail.
Didn't actually do nothing with it. I just wanted to
The bunny hopping. I love the bunny hopping.
Okay, which is not uncommon for this age. We are fine. So, yeah, okay. Kind of missed the mark there. That's all me. See? Handler error.
Handler error.
What we're trying to do... Oh, yes. Oh, yes. There we go. Good stuff. All right, so what we're trying to do is charge up the cooker. Yep.
She's charging the clicker.
So what that looks like is, what I'll do is I'll take this clicker. Oh, my feet are so exciting. My feet might be way more high value. They haven't had the lunch yet. It's kind of late in the afternoon. Well, they haven't had a meat lunch. Mom went in there, Zammy, and topped them off like 2 hours ago. So they should be hungry. So we'll see. Oh, so what's supposed to happen? Yes. So what's supposed to happen is they hear a click and then food gets presented in front of their face. That's crazy awesome. I think Simba will be the next one. I don't know if you can hear him in the background. He's hollering. He's saying, I would like to get out of here. And
Yeah, you can hear him.
In the pan. Somebody feed me. I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. So my job is timing. Timing is everything. The click that they hear needs to be close enough to the presentation of food for them to make the association. So eventually, when they click, there's going to be an expectation of, hi, oh, they're exploring boxes and dirty laundry piles. Yeah. I can puppies. I can puppies. What's a good girls? Yeah. So there's an expectation. You little thing. You are so sweet and hyper right now. Oh, okay. Energy modulation. Got it. Yeah. And you know what? They're 4 weeks old, and one day they're going to start getting this association. But today, this is a brand new room. This is a brand new experience. We've never had one-on-one time just quite like this before. And so if I can just put her through the motions a few times, I do not expect her to learn this. If she did, that'd be cool, but it's unlikely. Yeah, that was my fault. Basically, that was food and then a click, which I guess at this age is not bad. Okay. So now, I think that's enough. So now, what we all will do
This is the waggy tail.
is we'll have some lunch. Do you want some lunch? So this is another association that we do. So we always have our puppy call, which is puppy like that. And then we tap. So when they hear that, they know, they're starting to get it, that food is imminent.
All right. There we go. We've had enough puppy. Yep, yeah, the little red boy was like crying his head off in the background. Simba, that's the new puppy. That's the puppy they've adopted. Yes, we've had enough puppy. I don't want to like take up Reaper time, valuable Reaper time with too much puppy, guys. But yeah, so that's Keyleth. She's the sable girl, yellow girl. But yeah, Red Boy was essentially howling his head off in the other room because he wanted out of the enclosure. Because he was a singleton, I feel like he bonded stronger to the person, like the people, than the dog, because he didn't have any siblings, so he didn't have a bond to like siblings. So like he's very people focused, person focused, human focused, and so I think when he's more inclined to cry when like Bridget abandons them, even though he still has all of his new siblings, his adopted siblings to play with. But yeah, with that bunny hop when they move around, I love that. That's why I think they're the cutest at 4 weeks. Once they're at 8 weeks, they can actually put on a decent big dog trot, like they'll move around like a big dog. But at 8 weeks, they are bunny hopping all over the place and tripping over themselves and rolling over. But it's interesting because I watched Vex's this morning, Pink Girls, and now it's interesting to watch Keyleth's. And I'm going to make a guess, just based on these two videos, which is really the first temperament examples that I've seen, right? Because the puppies don't start to really develop like their real outward personalities until 3 weeks and on, because that's when their ears open, is at 3 weeks, and they can start really interacting with the environment in a meaningful way. But I'm gonna make the guess that Pink Girl Vex is actually a more confident and maybe a little bit more independent, harder temperament, and that Keyleth is actually more of a softie. We have a temperament scale that we use when we grade them. Hard temperament is like Schützendog, like is like a seriously independent, headstrong temperament, and soft temperaments are much more less confident. They're more looking to you for their confidence. They're more like, they tend to be a little more sensitive types, like stuff like that. And the ideal Shiloh temperament's kind of like a medium softish. Like we want a puppy that's going to be really responsive to the people and not be too headstrong. And that's going to be really biddable and easy to train. But I like medium temperament. I like them with a little more chutzpah. And so I'm thinking Pink is a little more medium. I'm thinking Keyleth here, just watching her, there were moments where she was uncertain. I'm thinking she might be a little softer. Bye, Crowley. Yep, bye, Moonlight. her, when I get her Moonlight. Little girl dog. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to guess. Also, somebody mentioned teething. Actually, puppies aren't teething at this age at all. They have their milk teeth are in, so their puppy teeth are in at this point. The mom dog definitely does not want to nurse them. But they don't actually start teething as far as like getting what their adult teeth are going to start coming in somewhere between like 4 and 6 months. Usually by 6 months, you've got all the adult teeth in. Right. Well, then it's just like the soft, medium, hard thing only holds water like on a very limited spectrum. You're right there, Valendar. Like there are other things like play drive and pack drive. Like there are lots of drives and thresholds that play into a temperament. So our shorthand, and it really is just like how independent and headstrong a puppy is, versus how biddable and sensitive a puppy is, like it is kind of like that. So sensitive, biddable, more dependent on people, tends to be softer, more independent, headstrong, that kind of dog is more of a hard temperament. Okay. Yeah. So we will go into shark mode, but at this age, the reason that puppies chew at this age is because they are interacting with the world, and the only way they really have to interact with the world is with their mouths. Because, some of them will use their paws, but it's not as effective, right? They can't pick up anything with their paws. They can pick up things with their mouth, right? And they eat with their mouth, and they, play with their littermates with their mouth. So when a puppy is like mouthing you, when it's like 8 to 10 weeks old, it's actually not teething yet. It's just like that's how a puppy interacts with the world. All right, so look at how beautifully that wash worked. Like, yeah, it did color the surface, but this bag's probably going to be a brown anyway. And it really brought out, like, we can see the tiny little, the buckle with the tongue and the around, and we can see the belt in the middle. Like, we can see it, we can really see it. And because we can see it now, it's much easier to paint it. In fact, if we decide we want to make this a little more solid. Wow. Crazy. That's a long time to teeth. So if I want to, I can bring in my more solid liner and reinforce those lines if I've got the control. The puppies are developing faster to give them a kind of the benefit of the doubt. Like a puppy and a toddler, I mean, the toddler has the advantage of opposable thumbs, right? And of being able to actually talk to you, or start to talk to you a little. So I'm just like reinforcing this detail a little bit. Hello, Crow. I hear a crow out there, but I can't see it. But yeah, so you can see how the wash really gives you an advantage. Now I can see all of this. And because I can see it clearly, I can align it if I want to accentuate around the wash. I can see clearly where the gold is going to go in this central design. And I can see that I've got actually an edge here, but it's not really an embossed. Like this is embossed, it's standing up. The edge here is more like stitched, it looks like that's where the stitching goes. So you could paint this outer edge in a contrasting color if you wanted to. Or you could just paint it like leather and assume that that little line there is stitching. And that's up to you, which way you would like to do it. But yeah, usually we say with Shiloh Shepherds, it's like the 4-month mark is around then is when everybody goes shark mode. And it's very useful if you want your arms to remain unscarred. It's very useful to have the puppy in the habit of playing with you with a toy by that point. And you don't want to encourage playing with your hands with the puppy, because that's just going to make shark mode even harder. I'm going to be using a lot of clicker on this puppy. I've never actually done clicker training with a puppy before. It always was really hard for me to juggle the clicker and the treat and the dog at once. So I just haven't used it, but I'm going to be doing it for this puppy. Because Bridget is starting it, so I'm going to like continue it. Yeah, baby shark. Yep. And it's not their fault, right? Their mouth hurts. They're chewing on things helps them feel better. Plus they have a ton of energy at that age. 4 to 6 month old puppy equals energy battery. So they're trying to work out, frustration and pain and energy, all of that. So. But I need to give David tools, because David has never experienced a shark puppy before. And I need him to still like the puppy afterwards. So the more I can arm David with toys to help the puppy not chew on anything it's not supposed to, that'll be good. There we are. So I've reinforced the details that I want to have stand out. So I've added extra lining. I've chosen not to add extra lining to the outside edge here. I think I'm just going to highlight it as a lighter leather. Usually I do take the opportunity to put a gold border around it at that level, but I think I'm not. I think I'll do gold here. I'll do silver for the little buckle. Hello, crow. Some of these things I don't even know what it is. Like that, I'm not sure what that little bit coming down there is. Not sure if it's part of a buckle or if it's gold. It could actually, yeah, but because it's on top of this, and yeah, I'm just not sure what that's supposed to be. So I should paint it either leather or gold. I think I'm going to default to gold. Like it's some piece of just ornamentation or end of a belt. Bobby probably sculpted this underlying structure and then just put the bags over the top, and then this was still poking out, but we can't really tell what it was. Yeah, it could be the strap that holds the bag up, exactly. And that's why I'm going to assume it's like got kind of a metal end because it's sharp there and there's a detail on it. So I'm just going to go gold with it, just default. And then we'll just put our gold base down over what we've just done. So we've got a really nice... Oh, I froze. Or my camera froze. Did I freeze? Can you guys still hear me? You're there. Okay, so the fig just did. All right, let me see if I can switch cameras and see if I can bring it back. 1 second, guys. Going to switch back to starting soon, and then we're going to come back to this scene, okay? 1 second. Nope, we are froze. Oh, noes. Hold on. Maybe I can The camera. Oh, noes. Oh, well, we may have to truncate this one early. It's 5. Yeah, the mini has frozen. The mini has frozen. I think I have to restart my camera, but at that point, by the time we get it back, we're probably, end of the stream. Yeah, I do. Hold on, let me go to my painting big screen, and I will try that. Boom. Nope, still froze. Yep. All right, so we're going to call it here, just because that'll let me turn down my computer. That'll restart the camera. Then we'll be fine for Monday. I will be streaming tomorrow on my own channel, and I don't know what we're going to be doing. I may work on David's Bardsong Mini, which is this little girl. She's cool. So we may work on her. Let's see. I can't make the camera focus. Or I may work on a new Big Wolf or whatever. It's just a couple of Pendragon at this point. It's just a few minutes. I'm down 5 minutes. Ooh, I'll have to. I was late on streams this week anyway, so I probably have the time. But yeah, so yeah, tomorrow, Saturday, 3:30 p.m. USA Central Time, I'll be streaming on twitch.tv/paintingbig, doing something bigger or smaller or something. I don't know, it's always a surprise. Jackpot. It's like, it's paint club, so I paint what I feel like. Monday, we'll be working on finishing... Kitty! We'll be working on Kitty. Kitty is getting really close. Like, need to highlight the shield, need to do the sword. So... we'll do Kitty Monday. Thanks for coming. Guys, yes, see you back at Reaperland this afternoon. Don't forget to tune in. And have a lovely weekend, everybody. Thank you very much for coming. It was a great stream today. I enjoyed it. Bye-bye.